Is the highest quality oil there is on the planet, and they only gave me a drop. So I'm not thrilled, but
And this
still,
is Marwan.
it's better than no drop. Can you imagine? But anyway, but it's tremendous what
And
you're
this
doing.
has become a globally recognized benchmark, Mr. President. Marban, that's
It's going
called
to be
Marban.
great. Yep.
Yes, that is the president of America, President Donald Trump. As me and you already know, for the past 4 days, he has been in the Gulf countries, touring 4 days tour around the Gulf states. And as a Pan-Africanist, as an African who is fighting for the unification and the dignity of our continent, as an African who want to see Africa change, who want to see the children of Africa stop dying in the Mediterranean Sea, as an African who want to see the children of Africa stop running away from the continent of Africa because there are no opportunities for them, I keep wondering and asking myself, and I want us to have this conversation. Please do not just watch this. Please share your idea, because we have to be having this kind of conversation. I've been thinking, President Trump went to the Gulf states. He didn't go there threatening them, telling them that if you don't do this, we're not gonna give you food aid. If you don't do this, we're gonna cancel aid to you. He didn't go there doing that. He went there to sign business deals with those countries. About 2.4 trillion dollar deals that he came out with the 4 days visit to the Gulf states. He came out with 2.4 trillion dollar deal. This is going to create opportunities for both the citizens of the Gulf states and that of America, which is good. Partnership to improve the lives of both countries. That is what we, the citizens of Africa, are also calling for. So my question is, how come when it comes to the continent of Africa, these people want to always take our resources for free? We are not saying we don't want to do like trade with you. How come when it comes to the continent of Africa, this is the reason why they hate President Ibrahim Traore. President Ibrahim Traore is not saying, I don't want to deal with you. What President Ibrahim Traore and those our leaders in the Sahel are saying is, we have resources. We have what you want. You also got what we want. Let us do partnership. Let us do business. You cannot be taking our uranium from Niger for less than €1, and then you go and be selling it for 400 euros in the market. You cannot be taking our gold for free whilst you go and be using it to feed your people. We have enough. So please, if you want our resources, let us have fair deal. Just like the way you are dealing with those Gulf states. So how come? My question is to all Africans, please, how come when it comes to the continent of Africa, these people doesn't want to treat us fairly? How come when it comes to the continent of Africa, in terms of our resources, they would rather prefer to give us guns to unalive ourselves so that they will be taking our resources for free? Like what is happening in Congo. They don't want to see a stable Congo. They don't want to see a stable Sudan. They don't want to see a stable Nigeria. They don't want to see a stable Mozambique. They don't want to see a stable Niger, a stable Burkina Faso. Because a stable Burkina Faso means they will have to deal with you fairly. And they don't want that. They want to continue to create chaos in the continent of Africa whilst they will be taking our resources for free. I don't understand. Like it baffles me to kind of like see Donald Trump going to these Gulf countries, to Saudi Arabia. He went there, have how much? 142 billion deal with them. Fair enough. That is what we also want. He went to Qatar. He went to UAE. In all, he has almost $2.4 trillion deal with them. Fair enough. But how come when it comes to the continent of Africa, and he didn't go there telling them, you must fight among yourselves, I will give you this to fight among yourselves. I want to create chaos in Saudi Arabia. I want to create chaos in Qatar. He didn't go there doing that. But when it comes to the continent of Africa, They would rather prefer to give us guns to unalive ourselves than to sit down on the round table and then do business with us. What have we done wrong to them? What have we done wrong to these colonialists that they don't want to see a stable Africa where the children of Africa will not be running away to Europe, to America, perishing in the Mediterranean Sea? This deal that he went and signed with those people in the UAE, it will create enough opportunities that they will even come to Africa, take our brothers and sisters into slavery to go and do some of the work. Whilst in Africa, those Arab countries, they have only one or two resources: gas and then gas and oil. They don't have gold, they don't have uranium, they don't have this, they don't have that, and yet the Americans will go there, like deal with them in a fair manner. But when it comes to Africa, when it comes to us, that got everything that they ever want, they don't want to deal with us with in fairness. All that, like, I don't know, like, what is the reason behind these people's mind that they think that the Africans should not live a life of dignity? What is in their mind that they think that Africa should not be stable? Africans should always be crying. Like, why? Because as I said, our leaders in the Sahel, President General Chiani, Ibrahim Traore, and Assimi Goïta, they are not saying that they don't want to deal with anybody. All that they are saying is that we have resources that you want. Why not just deal with that fairly, just as you are dealing with those in the Gulf countries? I remember the former president of Gambia, Yahya Jammeh, he said it. He said when they find out that Gambia has oil, and these people told him that they can only give him royalties, just like they are giving other African countries, 10% royalties, and they told him that the African country that is getting the highest is even, Angola, and Angola is getting less than even 25%. And then he said, why can't you deal with me like the way you are dealing with those in Saudi Arabia and in Qatar? And because this is what they are using to develop their countries. So if we also found oil in our country, why can't we do it 50-50? And the next day they kick him out of power. So how come when it comes to the continent of Africa, these people don't want to deal with us fairly? Why is it that they want to see African children perishing in the Mediterranean Sea? Why is it that they want to see African children running away from the continent of Africa, even though they claim they want to help us? If they really want to do, why are they creating chaos in Burkina Faso? Just because Burkina Faso want to use their resources for the good of their people, just as Saudi Arabia is doing, just as Qatar is doing, and America doesn't have problem with Qatar using her resources to develop Qatar. America doesn't, because America have what it takes to destabilize Qatar. America has what it takes to destabilize Saudi Arabia. America got what it takes to destabilize UAE. But they are not doing that. But when it comes to Africa, if an African leader said, let's sit down and then negotiate so that at least if I have resources, you can take it 50-50. They will say, no, get out of office. They will rather destabilize and make you unpopular for standing for your people rather than deal with you.